What's going on, guys and girls? How you doing today? It's Single Role Player here once again, and today I want to talk a little about different type of specters that made a return, which is Vaal RISEN Advocates. Back in the day when we had the Incursion League, this new type of specters appeared and people started using them and realized they actually are very strong. They do a lot of damage. Overall, they are just very strong. A good alternative against solar guards, which were pretty mandatory for a long time. With the updated path of building, it's now easy to see and compare this and make up your mind on which one you want to use, because there is also 4 different types of Vaal RISEN Advocates, which are fire, lightning, physical, and chaos. And I will be talking in this video about the lightning and the fire version because I believe they are easier to scale because they share the same skill links and skill gems like the solar guard. So this is just very easy to compare between the two. Like I said, with the Incursion returning to the core game, now it's much easier to get these guys because they were unavailable for quite a while. So now there are 2 ways how we can get these guys, which are the Temple of Exile and the Incursion things, and another place is the Vaal Outposts and the Delves, which are like the Vaal cities, where you can get a whole bunch of different Vaal monsters running around. So there are 2 spots where you can get these guys right now. So let's talk about Vaal Advocates and how much damage they do and how different they are compared to the solar guards, for example. So I'll be talking about 2 types of Vaal Advocates, which are the lightning one and the fire one. The lightning one has pretty decent amount of damage, and he shoots a lightning ball, and PoEDB also tells me that it has a delayed skill attack, which is some kind of lightning spark, which is pretty much the same damage as the lightning ball, but the path of building currently doesn't show this lightning spark, probably because it's pretty terrible damage compared to even the lightning ball, and should not be even considered. So let's assume that the lightning one only has the lightning ball, and the fire version has 2 types of attacks, which is the Fireball and the Firestorm. The Firestorm has cooldown. If we compare these Vaal Advocates to each other, let me say that the lightning one has a little higher damage than the fire one, and can also be attached with the wrath aura, and pretty much do the same amount of damage as the solar guards. The fire one is very different though. The basic damage on the fireball is lower, and at the same time the firestorm, a secondary attack, which is the delayed one with duration and cooldown, it has a lot of damage. It literally does like 70% of what fireball does. The good thing about RISEN Vaal Advocates, RISEN Vaal Advocates is that they have resists and they have a lot of life. They have like 3 times more life than every Spectre spellcaster in the game. They have 3 times more than the solar guards. They are extremely tough, and this is one of the reasons why are so popular, especially in the early game where your Spectres really tend to die more often. Where if you get these kind of Spectres, they practically never die, because if you get regen and you get leech to them, they have just so much life on them, they can leech that off. They are practically the immortal type of Spectres for the game. They just extremely tough. At the same time, unlike solar guards, they have resistance to all elements and not just to fire. So they have fire, cold, lightning, and chaos res, and that means they will survive much more in the end game, independent to what kind of content is there. They are practically immortal. If you add more resistance with the Necromancer ascendancy on the tree and the gems and all that, they are practically will never die to anything, including Uber Series Flame Blast, Shaper Balls, Degen on the Uber Elder, they are extremely tough. So let me compare the Lightning Vaal Advocate to the Solar Guards first, guys, so you can understand what the difference is there. First of all, the cast rate on the Lightning one is much lower than the Solar Guards. You can see it's 3.6, and on the Solar Guards it's about 5. Yeah, 5 on the Fireball attack. At the same time, the damage is pretty comparable. If you remove the Anger and put Wrath up, we have almost 300k there, which is pretty close to what Solar Guards do. Even if we consider the lower cast rate, this is pretty comparable to what Solar Guards give us. So damage-wise, they are actually pretty close. But the life one, if we compare the life, this is far from what Solar Guards have. Look at this, total life 63,000. Now take a look at the Solar Guards, this is 23,000, and they are already considered a tanky type of Spectre. So the life is absolutely from another world on the RISEN Advocates, and this is probably one of the biggest toughness of them. They are just extremely durable, guys, extremely durable. Now let's compare the Fire one. So this is the Fire one, we put Anger back. As you can see, the Fireball attack on the RISEN VAAL Advocates with the Fire version is far lower than the Solar Guards. It's just 200k, the cast rate is the same, while the Solar Guards Fireball gives 3.500k, so this is like almost twice more than the RISEN Fire version Advocates here. At the same time, this attack with Firestorm, which is a secondary attack, this still should be considered, because once this shit drops on monsters, they literally melt, because it does 300k damage, and it is 3 times more than the beam attack of the Solar Guards, which is 8-second cooldown, and this is just 100k. And if we compare this to the Firestorm, which is 300k and 600 cooldown, so if we combine these two attacks together, the beam of the Solar Guards plus the Fireball, and the Fireball of the RISEN VAAL Advocates with the Firestorm, this in general gives us pretty much the same amount of damage, I would say, if we compare this together. But the annoying thing about the Firestorm is that it just creates a giant clusterfuck on screen, a just insane amount of things on screen at once, and it's really hard to say what's going on. So the Firestorm is absolutely not screen friendly, and this is one of the biggest disadvantages of running with the RISEN VAAL Advocates Fire version, because you can barely see what's going on. So let me summarize a bit for you guys why our VAAL RISEN Advocates are so good and how they can be compared to the popular Solar Guards. First of all, the main advantage of the VAAL RISEN Advocates is that they are extremely tough. They have enormous amount of life pool on them, and they have really solid resistances, so they're incredibly strong for both early game and the end game. Damage wise, I would say that the Lightning one is extremely close to the Solar Guards, because when you get the Wrath aura on you, it is pretty comparable amount of damage, and since the Lightning ones don't really have any kind of delayed attack shit, they just spam projectiles, and they are very comparable to the Solar Guards. The Fire ones are a bit sketchy, because as you can see, they create a bit of a clusterfuck on screen with the Firestorm attack. At the same time, they provide a little shittier clear speed comparing to the Solar Guards, and the boss damage feels like a little slower as well compared to the Solar Guards. So I believe between the Lightning and the Fire, Lightning kind of wins a little because of its consistency, less obstructing the screen, and the easiness, because it's practically the same as the Solar Guards themselves. Overall, between the Solar Guards and the VAAL RISEN Advocates, I cannot really advise to switch from the Solar Guards or from the Solar Guards to the Vaal RISEN Advocates, simply because Vaal RISEN Advocates do pretty much the same thing as Solar Guards, just do it in a little different way, and at most cases they just a little far behind Solar Guards in terms of damage. But if you feel like your Solar Guards are a bit annoying, if you do not invest a lot into the life pool and regen and all that stuff, you can also switch to the Vaal RISEN Advocates, and they will just carry you all the way, and they will also kill Uber Elders, not big of a deal. So like I said, they can still be used, and they do pretty much the same thing as the Solar Guards in general. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes, especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, being it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join an Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.